Hey guys, a very good day to you all. In this video, first of all, we will understand what is exactly a buffer solution. And then we will see different types of buffer solution along with their mechanism. And afterwards, we will see the properties of buffer solutions. And in the end, we will understand how to find the pH of buffer solution with the help of Henderson Hasselbalch equation. Okay, so let's start with this video. Now guys, as we all know, the condition for a solution to be neutral is that the molar concentration of H plus ions must be equals to the molar concentration of OH minus ions. So this is the condition for a neutral solution, that is the molar concentration of both H plus ions will be equals to the molar concentration of OH minus ions. And guys, as we all know that the value of pH for a neutral solution is always equals to 7. Now guys, what we are going to do is that in this neutral solution, let's add acid. So when we add acid to the neutral solution, it is obvious that a complete solution will become acidic solution. Now why does it become an acidic solution? Let's understand that. So guys, when we add an acid, the acid dissociates and gives us H plus ions, as we all know. Now since the acid added gives us extra H plus ions, then the amount of H plus ions in a solution increases. And as a result of this, the molar concentration of H plus ions becomes greater than the molar concentration of OH minus ions. And this is the condition that is required for an acidic solution. And as we all know, for an acidic solution, the value of pH will be always less than 7. Now, let's moving on. We'll understand that what happens if we add a base to a neutral solution. Now, if we add a base to a neutral solution, then it is obvious that a complete solution will become an basic solution. But why is it so? Because when we add a base, the base dissociates and gives us OH minus ions. And as the base gives us extra OH minus ions as we add the base to a solution, the amount of OH minus ions in a solution then increases. And as a result of this, what happens is that the molar concentration of OH minus ions become greater than the molar concentration of H plus ions. And this is the condition for a basic solution. That is, the molar concentration of OH minus ions will become greater than the molar concentration of H plus ions. And as we all know, for a basic solution, the pH value will be obviously greater than 7. Now guys, if I'll observe one thing over here, for a normal solution, if you add an acid or even if you add a base, the value of pH is changing. But in the case of a buffer solution, the buffer solution resists changes in pH after addition of small amount of acid or base. Now what is the meaning of this? Let's say you have a buffer solution, and if you add small amount of acid or even base, then the pH value of buffer solution is not going to change. And even if the pH value changes, it is going to change to a small quantity. This is the specialty of a buffer solution. Even if you add an acid or a base, the pH value is never going to change drastically. Now you might be wondering, how is the buffer solution able to manage its pH value? So let's see that. The buffer solution possesses acidic component and a basic component. So in every buffer solution, there is an acidic component and a basic component. So now let us understand what is this acidic component and what is this basic component. So the job of the acidic component is when a small amount of base, so when you're adding a base, in short you are also adding OH minus ions. So when a small amount of base is added to the buffer solution, the acidic component will neutralize OH minus ions, which means that the acidic component will not allow the OH minus ions to make the buffer solution basic. And if you add a small amount of acid, so when you're adding the acid, you're ultimately adding H plus ions, is added to the buffer solution, the basic component will neutralize the H plus ions, which means that the basic component will not allow the H plus ions to make the buffer solution acidic. So guys, I hope you have understood what is a buffer solution and what is an acidic component and basic component. Don't worry if you have not yet cleared the concept, it's just the starting. I want you all to at least get an idea about what is going to come ahead. Okay, so I hope you have at least got an overview of what is a buffer solution and what is an acidic component and what is a basic component. Okay, now guys, just keep this concept aside for next 2 minutes. Okay, now moving on, we all know that when an acid reacts with base, we get salt plus water. Now there can be 4 different combinations of acid and base. For example, we can have a weak acid reacting with strong base to give us, let's say, salt number 1 plus water. Or we can also have another combination of a weak base reacting with strong acid to give us, let's say, salt number 2. Now, what I wanted to understand here is that this salt number 1 is called as salt of weak acid and strong base. I repeat myself again. This salt is called as salt of weak acid and strong base. Now this salt number 2 is called as salt of weak base. My bad guys, this salt is called as salt of weak base and strong acid. So I hope you have understood how to name the salts. Okay, now coming back to our concept of buffer solution. Now guys, there are 2 types of buffer solution. The first one is the acidic buffer solution and the second one is the basic buffer solution. So first of all, we will understand what is an acidic buffer solution. Okay, now for an acidic buffer solution, you require a weak acid and you require a salt of weak acid and strong base. So let's say our weak acid, for example, we are taking an example, you can take any weak acid. For example, let's say our weak acid is CH3COOH, which is nothing but acetic acid. So for example, we are taking weak acid as CH3COOH and its salt, which is CH3COONA, which is nothing but sodium acetate. Now I know you might be wondering that how do we get this salt. So as it is mentioned over here, it is nothing but a salt of weak acid and strong base. So when a weak acid will react with a strong base, the salt which we will get is this salt. So our weak acid is this same weak acid we are going to take. We are going to take same weak acid CH3COOH and we will react it with strong base, that is NaOH, and this is the salt that we get, CH3COONA. Now guys, moving on. Then what we have to do is that we have to take nearly same amount of CH3COOH. Guys, this 3 should be a subscript. It should be down over here. Okay. So we have to take nearly same amount of CH3COOH, that is our weak acid, and CH3COONA, which is nothing but our salt of weak acid and strong base. So as mentioned earlier, for an acidic buffer solution, you require a weak acid, which we have already got, CH3COOH, and the salt of a weak acid and strong base, which is nothing but CH3COONA. And both of them you are going to take nearly same quantity. And then you need to add both of them in water. And when you add both of them to water, your acidic buffer solution is now ready. But now Guys, what happens is that when you add it in water, as we all know, CH3COOH is a weak acid. So since it is a weak acid, therefore obviously it is a weak electrolyte. And since it is a weak electrolyte, therefore it dissociates partially into CH3COO minus plus H plus ions. Now what is the meaning of partially over here? See, if you, let's say you have 100 moles of CH3COOH, then out of 100 moles of CH3COOH, only 20 to 30 moles of CH3COOH will get dissociated into CH3COO minus plus H plus ions. This was an example that I am telling you all. Out of 100, let's say only 20. But remaining 80 moles of CH3COOH will remain as it is. Only 20 will get dissociated and the remaining 80 will remain as CH3COOH, and the 20 will become dissociated and will become CH3COO minus plus H plus ions. So 20 will get dissociated and 80 will remain as it is. Now moving on, the salt, that is CH3COONA, which we have considered, is a strong electrolyte. Remember guys, almost all salts are strong electrolyte, and as a salt is a strong electrolyte, it will get completely dissociated into CH3COO minus plus Na plus ions. So out of 100 moles, all the 100 moles of CH3COONA will get dissociated into CH3COO minus plus Na plus. Now guys, can I say that the acidic buffer solution now contains CH3COOH? Why CH3COOH? Because as mentioned earlier, 80 molecules of CH3COOH are as it is, plus CH3COO minus, which we get from after dissociation of this CH3COONA. Can you see over here? After CH3COONA dissociates, we get CH3COO minus, as well as some quantity of CH3COO minus is achieved after 20 molecules of CH3COOH dissociate, or 20 moles. Plus we have the H plus ions, these H plus ions, and we have the Na plus ions. We do not have CH3COONA. Why? Because it has completely dissociated. All moles have dissociated into ions as mentioned earlier. Okay. Now moving on, we need to mainly focus on first two. Why? We will. Now guys, let's say that we add small amount of acid to our acidic buffer solution, and when you add a small amount of acid, what is going to happen? The acid will dissociate and give H plus ions. As we all know that acid gives us H plus ions, and due to this, what is going to happen is that the amount of H plus ions in our buffer solution will now increase. And guys, can I say that the molar concentration of H plus ions will become greater than the molar concentration of OH minus ions, and ultimately our pH value will also change and will become more less than 7. Now we all know that there is a speciality of buffer solution, that buffer solution does not allow the pH value to change, and here the pH value is changing and it is becoming much more lesser than 7. So what will the buffer solution do is that, as we all know that buffer solution has CH3COO minus ions which are already present. So this CH3COO minus ions will react with those H plus ions which are added because of acid and now turn into CH3COOH. So guys, can I say here that most of the added H plus ions are consumed because the concentration of CH3COO minus is high. So this CH3COO minus will consume all the H plus ions that are added because of acid, and ultimately what is going to happen? Due to the removal of most of the added H plus ions, there is no appreciable decrease in pH, because if all the H plus ions are getting consumed by CH3COO minus, ultimately there is no change in the molar concentration of H plus ions. So in this way your pH value can be controlled by the acidic buffer solution. So guys, can I say that here CH3 sub COO minus is the basic component. Why it is a basic component? Because it is not allowing the H plus ions to change the pH value. So guys, I hope you have understood this concept, and even if you have not understood this, don't worry, there are similar concepts that are coming ahead. Okay, just keep patience. Moving on. Let's say guys, now we add small amount of base to the acidic buffer solution. Now if you add a base to the acidic buffer solution, what is going to happen? The base will dissociate and give OH minus ions. And as we all know, if the molar concentration of OH minus ions increases, then the solution will become more basic, and as it becomes more basic, the pH value will change. But the speciality of the buffer solution is to not allow the OH minus ions to change the pH value. So in this case, what is going to happen? The CH3COOH molecules which are present in the solution already will react with OH minus ions, giving us CH3COO minus, which is nothing but your acetate, plus H2O. Okay, so the extra OH minus ions that were added in the solution because you added base are now consumed by CH3COOH, and we are now getting CH3COO minus plus water. So in this way, most of the added OH minus ions are consumed by CH3COOH, and due to this there is no appreciable increase in pH, because whichever OH minus ions you are adding are consumed by CH3COOH. So there is no appreciable change or increase in pH. Now guys, moving on. CH3COOH is an acidic component over here. Why it is acidic component over here? Because I hope you all know what is the definition of acidic component. The acidic component does not allow the OH minus ions to make the solution basic and to change its pH value. So here the acidic component is your CH3COOH, because it is reacting with OH minus ions and it is not allowing them to change the value of pH. Now guys, moving on. Let's understand now the second type, that is the basic buffer solution. So we have understood what is an acidic buffer solution as well as its mechanism. Now it is time for us to understand what is a basic buffer solution, and we will also understand its mechanism. Now, if you understood acidic buffer solution, this is going to be easy for you. And even if you have not, don't worry, I'll make sure it becomes easy. Now, for a basic buffer solution, you require a weak base and you require a salt of weak base and strong acid. So let's consider an example of a weak base, that is NH4OH, ammonium hydroxide, and its salt NH4Cl, which is ammonium chloride. Now how do we get this NH4Cl? It is a salt of weak base and strong acid. So when a weak base like NH4OH reacts with a strong acid HCl, what we get is an NH4Cl plus H2O. Now moving on guys, we have to take nearly same amount of NH4OH, which is our weak base, and NH4Cl, which is a salt. So we are taking NH4OH and NH4Cl in same quantity, and then we need to add it in water, and here our basic buffer solution is now ready. Now after you add it in water, what is going to happen? This NH4OH is a weak base, and since it is a weak base, therefore it is going to get partially dissociated into NH4 plus ions plus OH minus ions. I hope you all now know what is the meaning of partially dissociated. Only some amount is going to get dissociated and most of the amount will remain as it is, that is NH4OH, and your salt NH4Cl, which is a strong electrolyte, it will get completely dissociated into NH4 plus ions and Cl minus ions. Now guys, can I say that the basic buffer solution now contains NH4OH, this NH4OH which is not dissociated into the ions, then it contains NH4 plus, which you are getting from both these reactions, plus it contains OH minus, as well as it contains Cl minus. Okay, now let's say that you add small amount of acid to the basic buffer solution. So when you add a small amount of acid to the buffer solution, what is going to happen? The acid will dissociate and give H plus ions. So the acid will dissociate and give H plus ions. And as it is giving H plus ions, guys, can I see that the molar concentration of H plus ions is now going to increase in the buffer solution. And if the molar concentration of H plus ions increases, then the pH value will also change. But as we all know, the speciality of buffer solution is to not allow the H plus ions to change the pH value. So in this case, what is going to happen? The NH4OH, which is your ammonium hydroxide molecules which are already present in the buffer solution, will react with the H plus ions and will form NH4 plus H2O. So what is happening over here? Most of the added H plus ions with the help of an acid are neutralized by NH4OH. So due to this, the molar concentration of H plus ions is not going to increase in the solution, and there is no appreciable change in pH that is being observed, because the extra H plus ions which are added by the acid are getting consumed by NH4OH. And guys, can I say that NH4OH is acting as a basic component? Why it is acting as a basic component? Because it is not allowing the H plus ions to change the pH value. Okay, now moving on. Let's say when small amount of base is added. So when you add a small amount of base, what is going to happen? The base will dissociate and give OH minus ions. Now as it is giving OH minus ions, can I say that the molar concentration of OH minus ions is going to increase? And if the molar concentration of OH minus ions increases, then the value of pH is also going to change. But the speciality of buffer solution is to not allow the OH minus ions to change the pH value. So how it is going to stop the OH minus ions? By reacting them with the NH4 plus ions. So when NH4 plus ions react with OH minus ions, what we get is NH4OH. Here there should be an arrow, it is missing over here. So what we should get is an NH4OH. So in this way, as you can see over here, most of the OH minus ions are getting consumed. So the concentration of NH4 plus ions is high, and most of the OH minus ions will get consumed, and there is no appreciable increase in pH, because whichever OH minus ions that were added are all getting consumed by NH4 plus, or almost all are getting consumed. In this way, guys, can I say that the NH4 plus is your acidic component? Why it is acidic component? Because it is not allowing the OH minus ions to change the pH of the basic buffer solution. So guys, I hope you have understood what is an acidic buffer solution, as well as you have understood what is an basic buffer solution, and you also understood its mechanism. So guys, now let us understand the properties of buffer solutions. So the first property which we have already done up till now is the pH of buffer solution does not change appreciably upon the addition of small amount of either strong acid or strong base, which means that even if you add a strong acid in a small amount, or even if you add a strong base, the pH value of buffer solution is not going to change, and even if it changes, it is going to be very small, that we have seen up till now. Okay, now the second point. The pH of buffer solution does not depend on volume, which means that let's say you take 1 liter of a buffer solution, and if you take 10 liter of the same buffer solution, then the pH of both 1 liter and 10 liter is obviously going to be same. It is not going to change just because you're changing the volume. No, the chemical composition is same, then the pH is obviously going to be same, and hence the buffer solution can be diluted without any change in pH, which means that let's say that you are adding water. So water is obviously neutral, so even if you add any quantity of water, the pH value is not going to change even if you dilute it. Okay, so even if you dilute as any if you dilute it is the pH is not going to change because the water itself is a neutral. Okay, now the next thing, the pH of buffer solution remains constant even if it is kept for a long time. So this is an important point. The pH of buffer solution remains constant even it is kept if it's kept for a long time. It is not going to change with the time. It is the pH value is going to remain the same for the buffer solution. So guys, now let us find out the formula for finding the pH of buffer solution, and this formula is also known as the Henderson Hasselbalch equation. Okay, so let us first find out for the acidic buffer solution. So as we all know, for an acidic buffer solution we require a weak acid. So let's say the name of our weak acid is HA. I'll just consider a general name. So let's say we have a weak acid named HA and we have a salt named BA. Now as we all know that salt is a strong electrolyte, and since it is a strong electrolyte, therefore almost completely BA will get dissociated into B plus and A minus ions. So out of 100, let's say 100 moles of BA, 100 moles will get dissociated into H plus and A minus ions. So it is getting completely dissociated into its ions. Whereas in case of a weak acid, what is going to happen? It is going to get partially dissociated into ions. Why? Because weak acid is a weak electrolyte and only small quantity is going to get dissociated. For example, let's say out of 100 moles, only 2 to 3 moles will get dissociated into ions, that is H plus and A minus. Now moving on, let's find out the acid dissociation constant value for this equation. Now for those who do not know what is acid dissociation constant, I have already made a separate video on this. You can find the link in the description box below, or you can simply click on this I button which is there on the right top corner of your screen. So the acid dissociation constant value will be the molar concentration of products multiplication of molar concentration of products, that is the H plus ions into molar concentration of A minus ions. So you have multiplied the molar concentration of products in the numerator and divided by the molar concentration of reactants, that is HA. Now similarly what I'm going to do, I'm going to rearrange this equation over here. Can you see over here? I've just considered H plus molar concentration of H plus ions on one side and I have just rearranged the equation. Now further on guys, the molar concentration of HA is nearly equals to initial concentration. Now what is the meaning of this? See, let's say that you have 100 moles of HA before the reaction, and let's say after the reaction is attained equilibrium, you have 98 moles of HA. So guys, can I say that 98 is almost equals to 100 only? So it is obvious that the molar concentration of HA before the reaction will obviously be equal to the molar concentration of HA after the reaction. Okay, and the molar concentration of A minus ions, this A minus ions is equals to the molar concentration of BA. Why is it so? Because as mentioned earlier, these A minus ions are very less because HA is dissociated in less quantity. Therefore the A minus ion that we are getting from this equation is almost negligible. And if you observe over here, this BA is getting completely dissociated. Therefore the A minus ion that we are getting from this equation is maximum. And if you observe this equation guys, if one BA gets dissociated, you are getting one A minus ion. So it is obvious that if 1 molar BA gets dissociated, you will get 1 A minus ions. If 3 molar BA get dissociated, you will get 3 molar A minus ions. Therefore the molar concentration of A minus ions is equals to the molar concentration of BA. Now just replacing in this formula, that is the molar concentration of H plus ions as it is on the left hand side, then the molar concentration of HA as it is, and Ka as it is, and the denominator I have replaced this A minus with Ba, as you can see over here. Now again in this equation what I am going to do, this H plus molar concentration of H plus ions as it is, then this Ka as it is, then here what is HA? HA is nothing but the acid, so I am going to write molar concentration of acid divided by the molar concentration of Ba. And what is Ba? Ba is nothing but our salt. Okay, now let me remind you all again that in this formula the molar concentration of acid is nothing but initial concentration of acid before the start of the reaction, and this molar concentration of salt is nothing but the initial concentration of salt before the start of the reaction. So guys, with the help of this equation, now what I am going to do is that I am going to take minus log to the base 10 on both the sides. So when you take minus log to the base 10, see, minus log to the base 10 of molar concentration of H plus ions. And then here I have taken minus log to the base 10 of Ka minus, I hope guys you all know that when two factors are multiplying we can separate them with the help of a log. And divided by the minus log to the base 10 in the molar concentration of acid divided by the molar concentration of salt. I hope you all know guys this log property. If two things are multiplying, this Ka is multiplying with this whole term, therefore I have replaced separated Ka and this whole term. Then again I can separate this also. Then if you observe one thing over here, this minus log to the base 10 of molar concentration of H plus ions is nothing but the formula of your pH. So you just substitute the value formula as pH over here. If you don't know what is a pH, then I have already made a separate video on this. Go check out the playlist of chemical equilibrium. You will find all the videos. Okay, so this formula minus log of molar concentration of H plus ions to the base 10 is the formula of pH is equals to minus log this thing as it is. Okay, now this equation that we have got is very useful for finding the pH of a buffer solution, whether it be a this is for your acidic buffer solution. Okay, so this one is for finding your pH of an acidic buffer solution, and this equation is called as a Henderson Hasselbalch equation. Now after finding out the formula for the pH of the acidic buffer, now it is time to see what is the formula for basic buffer. So guys, let me tell you all, the formula for basic buffer that you all will be getting is this. Here you won't be getting pH, instead you will be getting pOH. Now I am not doing the derivation over here because the derivation of this basic buffer is exactly similar to the derivation of acidic buffer. And guys, I know that you all are at least that much smart that you all can easily find out this derivation. And even if you have any difficulties guys, you can comment below in the comment section, or you can email me. The email is given in the description box below. Okay, so the formula for pOH that the pOH value you will get with the help of this equation. And if you want to find out the pH value, then you can just substitute the value of pOH in this equation. pOH plus pH is equals to 14, and you can easily get the value of pH. Okay, now this was all about the pH of acidic buffer and basic buffer. So guys, if you have liked this video, then please do not forget to subscribe to our channel for more such interesting videos, and go check out my channel for more such interesting videos on chemistry and physics as well. And guys, thank you for watching this video.